Hello everybody, this is Red Scarf Fox coming at you with a different type of review today. Not of a model kit, but of a Transformer. And this is the Transformers Legacy Nightprowler figure. A lot of these stores around me have been finally getting the Legacy characters, so I can finally start picking those ones up. But Nightprowler, he seemed like interesting. One, I really like the design of him, so that's why I decided to pick him up, especially with the box art. Which, going into that, we're first going to look at our box here. This one does have the clear plastic covering over the figure, which is nice. A lot of figures that Hasbro are making nowadays don't have this. And the effects are definitely taking its toll because I saw a blue streak, the buzzworthy Bumblebee one, missing a head, so we are going to have the LeBron James incident all over again. But looking back at the front, we have some nice detailing here and some very nice artwork. I really like this image, a Nightprowler with the red eyes. I think they really bring it. He looks like an animal, but then you can see the robot in the eyes. Transformers Legacy, this is a deluxe class. This is the $22 figures. I think it's going up to $25 now. The prices are getting ridiculous. We got some artwork on this side, some of our Autobot characters. Transformers Legacy again. We have the back, which just shows off the figure, and the animal mode. Don't want to call it the vehicle mode. Some warnings. Got some more images of Nightprowler here in his robot mode. Underneath, just, blah blah blah, barcode. And top, Transformers Legacy. So, yeah, pretty nice. Pretty nice box. The angles are cool. A little weird, but I don't keep the boxes for every figure, so it's not going to be that big of an effect. But now I'm going to take them out of the box, and we can see what we are working with. And here we have a Nightprowler with everything that he comes with in the box. And for starters, we're going to take a look at his aesthetics of the actual figure. Starting off with the head. The head sculpt is very nice with the yellow helmet and the gray metallic face that he comes with. Got some of the matching color back here, and it looks like he also has some red eyes, which really, let's see if I can kind of get in there. You have some kind of shine red eyes, which match very much with his animal form. See, while we're on here, and while I can keep this zoomed in, the torso is very nice. I've always kind of liked the idea with just the head on the chest. Arms are pretty basic for what we see here. Some yellow here at the top, darker gray, followed by the lighter gray that the rest of the body has. Darker gray for the hands. Try to zoom in there for a bit so you can get a good look. Looks like we have some detailing here. It's probably going to be for the transformation. If I can get this to focus, there we go. Darker gray here in the middle. The rest of the body kind of wraps around with all the black spots. Some yellow here on the waist to help break things up. Legs still kind of have that same pattern going around. Some very small feet. Very tiny feet, but they do hold. You see we have the legs here for the transformation in the front, and in the back we also have what will become the front legs and a lot of spots. A lot of animal spots. Let's see. But yeah, I really like the look of this figure, and I think a lot of this is really going to look amazing when he is transformed and completely in his animal form. I don't know what exactly he's supposed to be. I'm going to assume it is a cheetah with all these spots on him, but I'll have to wait to see when we transform him and kind of see what we're working with from there. But aesthetic is pretty nice. The yellow really pops, and it does help bring out some of that detail. And I think it is a good breakup from the rest of the gray body. And I'm pretty pleased with this figure's aesthetics. The only thing I think I could really complain about is probably these legs on the back, but that is necessary for the transformation, so I'm not going to go against it too much. And, yep, pretty nice design, and I really like the paint on this guy. Moving on to our accessories, if you totally exclude the instruction manual, which really isn't an accessory, and you probably won't need it after you transform this guy a couple times, your only real accessory that you get here is the tail, which is a separate piece, and it is also supposed to work as a sword or maybe a whip kind of weapon. But let's see, the instruction manual does tell us to kind of put in his hand from the tail. So, if we abide what the instructions tell us to do, and we simply slide that into here, we do kind of get a axe-like weapon by the looks of it. It is weird because the way it bends back kind of makes me miss the practicality of using a weapon with such a bend. Maybe if it's like a whip-styled weapon, I can see it, but for now, I think it's safe to assume that this might be like an axe of sorts. So you have some slashing going on there. But yeah, that's really the only accessory you get with this guy. No gun, no other swords, no other accessories, just what is practically the tail, which also turns into an axe. And the instruction manual, if you really include that as in, like, accessory. But, yeah, accessories are limited, and I do wish he came with some kind of blaster at least. But, overall, I mean, the tail, axe, I mean, I think it's going to work pretty well. Gives him more maybe like a tribal kind of feel, which really goes very well with the paint scheme. But moving on from the hat, we're going to go next into the articulation and see what this figure has to offer us. Alright, so moving on to Nightprowler's articulation here. We might have already experienced some of it going through some of the other sections, but we have a turn at the head. Head seems to be on a ball joint. It can move up very far, which is very nice. Down, really doesn't have much down movement, and you can get some pretty good side to side there. At your torso, you do have a waist swivel. You should be, oh well, you can't go all around. It stops halfway, but still overall pretty good. He's kind of bending in, probably for his transformation mechanic. At the arms can move in and out like that, which is, again, more of a transformation gimmick, but still very good. Arm can move up that far with the bend. These back plates kind of get in the way, but you can move them back further, so they do allow you to move up a bit more. Can move back about that far. Arm can go completely up, but it can outstretch that far, so very good side movement there for the arm. Arm can rotate full 360 degrees, got a slightly above 90-degree bend at the arm. Doesn't move back, just straightens out. And you have a full 360 at the hand. Alright, very nice. At the legs, this can move up. The waist piece can move up. That might not be a transformation gimmick, but at the same time, it could be. But really, it's really good to have, even if it is just for transformation, because it allows you to get a high kick. And you can't really move his leg back. Like, that's as much as you can get in terms of moving the leg back. You can split about that far. This leg is on a full 360. This foot can slightly move, which really isn't important for this part. And this can move out, but that's for the transformation. Leg can move, kick that far, or the foot can move that far and go that far back. We also have looks like it might be actually slightly less than 90-degree bend at the leg. And you have an ankle pivot. Very nice ankle pivot, so you can definitely get some posing with that. And in the back, these flaps kind of move a bit for the transformation, but also to move them out the way of the arms, which is very nice. And these back legs rotate, move around a bit. That's going to be more for his cheetah form. Looks like you have some leg bend here. And these are on a ball joint. So pretty much very good movement if you do need to move these back legs around, just in case they do get in the way. But yeah, some pretty standard articulation for a modern day Transformer. Don't tip over on me now. Which a lot of the articulation probably comes from the Cheetor figure, which is from the Kingdom line, so this does reuse that mold. But either way, it is mostly up-to-date articulation for what a Transformers figure has. And I think with that ankle pivot, you can definitely get some nice poses, and also with the way that the waist flap kind of moves out of the way. The only hindrance that you might have is probably going to be with the legs, because they will, not the legs, the arms, because of the pieces in the back that fold in to kind of encase his robot mode when he turns to his animal form. But, I mean, they do also have some ways to move out of the way, so at least there is some thought kind of put behind it to make sure that the figure is still pretty functional. And so with that, overall, the articulation of this figure, although pretty standard, is still pretty good. Next is going to be probably the most experimental part of this video. It's going to be the transformation, and I'm going to see if I can try to get the transformation on camera as close to the instruction manual as close as possible. Of course, with things like these, there are always small, exceptions that you can kind of take when it gets to transforming the character, but just for the sake of following the instructions and seeing if I can replicate them, we're going to see how we can do. And I will also leave timestamps if you want to skip the transformation and you just want to go straight to the animal mode. I will certainly be leaving that for your convenience. So let's say we want to kind of split the arms out, like so. Pull the side waist open. Raise his head up slightly. Actually, no, it wants us to raise his head up slightly, but then rotate it completely. There we go. So we have to raise it. That's what that good head articulation is there for. It's to help you raise the head. You want to bring the cheek. There we go. Ooh, that sounds like it's on a ratchet joint or something. You want to bring the head up. That's a very nice head, I gotta say. Alright, looks like we want to go from the back and kind of encase the head from the looks of it. Kind of want to bring this up. There we go. Encase the head like so. You might have to put a bit of force in it. Close the jaw. Flip to the other side here. We want to bring the arms back in. We want to rotate the hands like so. looks like we want to click something into place. It wants me to click. Okay, I see. So I need to. Okay, so now I don't need to rotate the hands. I need to rotate the entire arm so I can click it to the side. So, like this, and then bring it like so it connects like that. There we go. That's what we want to see. If I can get this one to actually mirror. There we go. Alright, so doing pretty good. We can kind of start to see that the cheetah is starting to form here. Now it looks like we want to rotate the hands and kind of bring them in like this. And if I can keep that hand in place, we want to move to the back. We want to straighten these back legs out. Now we want to bring this all together. Kind of make sure that is closed all the way. And slowly but surely we can get it to stay somewhat. If I can get these tabs to stay in, that would definitely be most helpful. There we go. So I can get this, and then I need to connect. Okay, okay, doesn't look like I need to keep these rotated anymore. Because, yeah, these in the instructions, okay, so they are rotated like this. That's probably why they don't want to stay. Yeah, like I said, usually after you transform them, like the first couple of times, you really don't need to use the instructions to figure it out. And this is also, I guess, experimental, since I really haven't made a transformer on camera. But there we go. We finally got the stomach going. This is a slightly different shade from the look of it, which is definitely interesting, but you probably won't be able to really see it. This kind of closed in already. Oh well, I think it's gonna have to close in anyway. We want to bring these arms out, kind of straighten the paws, and we want to close these waists. One was already conveniently closed, so that's good. We want to move here, bring the feet in, which will also push out the hind legs. Then we can push these in slightly more. Okay, we want to bend these out like so. Let's see if I can kind of adjust the legs to give it a more realistic animal stance. Ooh, he's got some like spikes back here. I wonder if Cheetah had those. I do have another figure with a similar mold, so that's definitely going to be interesting to look at. It's always fun to look at the comparisons of the different figures. So now we finally want to bring in our tail, and back here we want to plug it in like so. And there we go. That's been the transformation. Again, I'm definitely leaving timestamps in case this is kind of inconvenient to look at. But now with transformation out of the way, we can take a closer look at the cheetah form. So looking at the cheetah form here, we got a pretty basic build going on. The tail, which was your only accessory, was now part of the transformation, so kind of a parts former, but I think, it would be better just to have the tail kind of sticking out than just some random accessory that just gets thrown to the side. And let's look at our articulation and aesthetics. This kind of be like one combination of aesthetics and the articulation. Starting off with our head very nice head. I just, there's something about the red eyes with like the gray and black color scheme that just really sticks out to me. Head is pretty much a solid brick, so you're not going to be moving that. Does it snap a bit? No? Okay. But you can open the jaw here, and we got some nice painted detailing in there. Very nice to see. Okay. The waist is also kind of like brick, pretty much. Like, there's no, like, swivels or bends. The arms, though, these back here arms can go out this far, so... yeah, if you want a airplane, I guess, that's always an option. They can do a full 360, which is nice. Again, they can bend out very far. You have some bends at the main leg joint here, and your paws are on ball joints, so you can get some decent poses out of it. Not really much of an ankle pivot kind of way, but you might be able to work something out with the arm articulation. Moving to our back, you got some back leg movement here, but it is hindered by the arms. By the way, the arms close in. Back here. That kind of connects in. I think it is meant to more hold it in place than for it to actually act like that's like not supposed to act like a joint, like everything's supposed to really be here, but you still have some of that movement. You got like a 180-degree turn rotation here at the leg. Can move back that far, forward this far. Leg has a bend that can go there. Kind of does take out the foot a bit though. Can go back that far. Can give you some good running motions. And once again, your paw is on a ball joint styled leg, so you can also get some more of that nice articulation. The tail doesn't really rotate. It's not really meant to rotate with how it kind of just blends in with the back. And you only have slight bits of yellow peeking out like here, which is very nice that it does conceal a lot of the original figure. And here you can get a nice combat like stance, kind of like on the hunt. But yeah, I really like this alt form. I really like the color scheme that they went with, and I like how well the paint is overall applied. And like I said, the red eye, I can't just stop thinking about the red eyes, just the image that they give of a truly like menacing creature. But overall, the alt mode is pretty decent. You know, it doesn't have wheels or anything, so you're not going to be rolling around, or this thing is not going to be rolling anywhere. But just for some size comparisons for this mode, before we go on to the back to our robot mode, here it is next to a similar scale and priced character, that being the Kingdom Pipes. A larger figure, that being the Bumblebee Soundwave. And finally, here he is next to my last review, the Jagan B-Type from Gundam F91. And next to a Master Grade, that being the Zaku Cannon. And a quick look at the robot mode scaling. We have, once again, Pipes, Studio Series Soundwave from the Bumblebee movie. Actually, there isn't any other Studio Series Soundwaves. I don't know what I would be comparing it to. The Jagan B-Type, and they do kind of have a similar scale, so that can be good for, like, stop-motion animations, maybe, if anyone's into that. And the Master Grade Zaku Cannon. So overall, I think the Transformers Legacy Nightprowler figure is a pretty decent figure, pretty decent build for what it is. It is kind of one of those what you see is what you get kind of deals, how you really get the figure and just one accessory. And on top of that, you better make sure you don't lose that accessory because you don't get an extra one. And you're going to need that for the tails. Unless you have a way to 3D print a new one, yeah, you're going to be running out of tails there. But overall, the color scheme is very nice on this figure. I like how the yellow really brings out a lot of the gray detail with the black spots from the animal mode. I know this is like my 4th time saying it, but the red eyes on the chest, they're so cool. Like, they could have just done like regular eyes with like a red coloring to them, but the all red really brings out the more robotic feel, of it being a Transformer, which is very nice. Articulation, as said, is pretty standard for what you get of a Transformer at this cost and of this like modern engineering. But yeah, I think it's a pretty nice Transformers figure. Definitely going to be looking a lot more into the Legacy line, since it does look like there are going to be some pretty nice releases coming out of that. Some are going to be, simple repaints or slight retoolings, but there are some other ones that I'm looking forward to trying to get my hands on and do reviews on if I do get the chance of them. Mainly being like the Blitzwing and the Motormaster, which I've heard the Blitzwing is a very nice figure, and from what I've seen, he does look very cool. So I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out for him. And like I said, I will definitely do a review. It's going to be interesting for me to do since he is a triple changer. But yeah, I hope everybody enjoys the video. Remember to like and subscribe. And yeah, the first Transformers review on this channel, definitely interesting. I am still questioning if I should maybe forego the actual transformation, because like I said, I don't know how well it's going to look in the final product of this or how helpful it is going to be, since it is based off the instructions. But I hope if there is a need for anybody who wants the instructions, needs to kind of see it, I do hope that kind of provides that feeling. And with that, I will again, very nice figure. Just if you do want this figure, I would definitely recommend picking him up. But if you maybe aren't a fan of the character or the design, you can skip it, since, like I said, there are recolors and kind of slight retools based off this figure. But with that, this is going to be the end of this review, and I will see you all in the next one. Later.